Hi, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Indianapolis, Indiana.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Hey guys, we've loved answering all of your questions so far. If you'd like to hear your question on the podcast, please send them to us on Instagram at Wheel Talk Podcast or by email to wheeltalkpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks. Ba-doop.
Beep, 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 beep. Beep. Hello, Ryan. Hello there.
Hello, Poppet.
Hello, Poppet.
Makes me want to watch
We're
Pirates.
live.
Hi, we're live.
We're live. How are
What's
you?
new? How's it going? I'm going to ask you.
No, let's get to you because it's going to take me forever to fucking...
I'm doing all right. I was just telling you before we start recording, I was like, I'm getting a little antsy because I haven't touched some important emails in the last 4 days. I'm sure that's nothing for some people. They probably neglect it for weeks, but
I have one sitting that I got 3 days ago, and I'm just like,
I'm like,
how do I respond to
lingering on some of these things where it's like, I gotta respond to some of these, but they require, I'm like take 10 minutes or so, figure out everything I want to say so that I don't have to get questions back at me. That's kind of how I try to respond to some of these emails, and I need to do that for probably 4 or 5 different ones. And I don't really feel like sitting at my desk and on my computer for another hour and a half or whatever replying to emails. So
Yeah, that's fair.
I've been putting it off. And then pot swap stuff started. So that's been taking up a lot of time this week. We officially got everybody in. We got 120 people in.
Yeah.
1,020 people in.
1,020.
And sent out all the emails, let everybody know. We
now
got some people that were a little antsy, but I feel like put in all the work to do the FAQs and let everybody know what's going on.
See, you don't even need to do that. I
feel like I over communicate too much, and then you get people that are just on the edge, and they're gonna ask not stupid questions, but they're gonna ask worrisome questions that it's there's nothing to worry about. You're in. You're taken care of. Stop worrying. But some people just get so excited that they're like,
nobody's dying. We got a pot swap t-shirt.
We did. Becca did some graphics work over there,
and I'm proud and happy to say, now that I know that my supplier for the t-shirts, the color is fucking great.
It looks great. The color of the actual print as well as the
print,
t-shirt quality.
It looks so good. And
that's good to hear.
Yeah, really happy about that. So Wheel Talk t-shirts coming soon because now it's easy. I still even have all of those old illustrations I did. Ooh, I might not actually. I don't know. No, I think they're on.
You and your computer storage issues and hard drive issues. I don't know.
Fuck's sake. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I've never had an issue until this year with computer stuff. But anyway, Wheel Talk t-shirt should be coming soon.
Yeah, so pot swap's been taking a bunch of time. Happy to get that. Getting the team to start helping out too, which will be good because I've been managing the Instagram for a couple weeks now, and it's been a lot.
Well, you manage it too much, I think. And also,
I don't want to just not get on there and reply to messages for. I think we're gonna have our first people take over on Sunday. That's the.
I didn't even get who do we? Did you already give people their dates?
No, I'm getting the people together. I've already got commitments from 5 people. And then I'm waiting for a couple other people to reply, and then I'm going to send it to all of them and say, okay, go ahead and sign up for your dates. The calendar's up there. Here's the calendar. Go to it, put your name on the dates, and then I'll tell you how to get into it. So,
you know that I can help you, right?
Okay, then do that.
Okay, I'll do that. I don't know how
as long as you
them, but I'll do it.
What's that?
I don't know how you've contacted them, but well, now you
I
have to.
emailed them on the Potsop account. I was like, hey, are you
Oh,
interested in
okay.
helping out?
Then I could do it. Yeah.
And they're unread, so you can look at the last couple. I reached out to another 4 or 5 people that were showing interest this year.
Okay.
Because we had 2 or 3 people that can't help us this year, so yeah.
Cool.
Expanding
and we
the
just
bench.
and we just send them a calendar that they can edit, and they just put their name down.
Yeah, it's a shared calendar.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. Nothing too complicated here.
I figured out the Google Maps thing. I was really proud.
Yeah,
of myself.
I was worried. I was like, is she gonna figure this Google Maps? And I was like, well, you started sharing it on stories, and I was like, she got this. She knows what she's doing.
I figured it out. I was so proud of myself.
It's kind of hard to understand how to get to that section of maps.
I had to use Google or YouTube. YouTube helped me.
Yeah, it was a little confusing. But you could see the other ones that were already in there, so that probably helped a little bit. So you knew you were in the right spot.
Except for I did it on Wheel Talk first. But yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
On accident, yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool to look at the map and just see where everybody is. There's like a lot more in Australia than I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably like 15 people in Australia, New Zealand area.
Yeah, there's a ton. And there's way more like variety of countries this year.
Mm-hmm.
Few in Germany. I would say like 4 in Germany, 5 in Germany. Lots of England.
Some like Spain and Portugal area.
Spain, Portugal, Japan.
Italy, India. There's a South Africa.
Israel.
Yeah.
Lots of, just crazy.
Yeah. We just need to get a little more in Asia area, I think, in South America. I didn't see any in South America this time.
There was one in South America.
Was there? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was one that wasn't mapped, or
it would be cool. Oh wait, no. I'm sorry.
We used to have one in Chile and Peru in the past, but
yeah, there was one in South Africa.
Right.
It would be cool to get like Middle Africa, but I don't know. Obviously.
It's just based on who sees it as well, because most of when you sign up, when we started to sign up for the public, we already filled. Let's see, we sent it out to about 700 people from last year, 720, right? They were in there before. And then we already had like 530 signed up by the time the public got access. So more than half of it was already full by the time the public got access.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, imagine a returning participation rate of 500 out of the 700 came back. That means
500 people had either a good time or hope for a better time this time.
I mean, that's pretty good. And a lot of people are just going to forget, or they just don't check their email, or they don't look at Instagram as much. It's easy to pass by it.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'll get people that'll trickle in there like right when it starts or right after, and they're like, what's this pot? Like somebody messaged me that we've talked to before, and they were like, what's this pot swap thing? And I'm like telling them what it's about, and I'm like, this is what it is. Sign-ups already. Do we just tell you if we want to sign up? And I was like, no, sign-ups are already done. Like, check in October 2023. I feel bad saying that, but it's like, hey, we can only do so much. We can't have people just find out about it, and like, even if we know you, we can't just like let you in, because it's not fair to other people that are like, I missed it, sorry.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. For sure.
But other than that, I've been tidying up the studio, getting a little more time on the wheel.
What'd you get this week?
I got some shelving units.
There you go.
So there was a woman in Queen City Clay, which is one of the local studios. She had like a solo space in one of the kind of rental areas, and she had these 3 shelving units, very similar to some of the ones I've got, like size-wise. So they're basically brand new. There wasn't even like dried clay or anything on them. It looked like she set them up and then she didn't even use them. So,
oh wow!
I got all 3 units for $90 total.
Fuck yeah!
She was like, "I'll sell them to you at like 30 to 40% of what I paid for them." I'm like,
sweet.
I mean, all right, I'll take it. She was trying to give it to me for free. She was like, "If you're worried about," I was like, "What do you want for them, price wise?" And she's like, "I was thinking 90, percentage of what I bought them, but if you're like hard on money, I can give them to you." She's like, "I like watching your Instagram and your cats and stuff." I was like,
And you're
no,
like,
I'm
no, no,
happy to
no.
pay for them. Like,
Happy to pay. Happy to pay.
yeah. So that was
I
pretty
was
sweet.
talking to somebody
They fit
today.
in there perfectly.
I was talking to somebody today, and I think this is the coolest thing. It was actually Deanna's mom. And she was saying that she was at the laundromat once, and this lady just came in and just paid for everybody's laundry. Just like put coins in the washer and dryers.
She just like walked in, started putting coins in washers, and walked out.
Yeah. And or like, you know, she was from a local church, and that was like what their ministry was doing, and I was like, that's the most useful fucking ministry. Like, that's
do
the
they
one
plan
place,
that out, you think, or
I don't know, but like that's the one place that I feel like no matter if you go, people are in need at the laundromat.
Sure.
Because if they're
Who
at the
couldn't use a
laundromat,
free
that means
load of
they don't have a
laundry?
washer dryer. Yeah. You know, they have to pay, you know, like we have to pay, but in a different way, but like not as much as they do. And I was like, that is so cool. Now I just want to like save my quarters up and just like go to a laundromat and just like pay for everybody.
That sounds cool. The
That'd
only
be
thing
fun.
is, I feel like you can't really put it in a like a box or something. Like you can't really just sit it somewhere as like community quarters, because I feel like somebody inevitably is just gonna reach their hand in there and just take all of them, right?
No, 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 no. You would just go up and just
Put them in there.
put the quarters in. Yep. Or like put it in a machine so somebody didn't have to, like before it even started. It's like, oh, it's already paid.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Anyway, how are the meals going? Are you still doing the
Meals are great. I think we are 6 weeks in, maybe.
nice?
So it was about 20 meals ish, 18 meals. It's been going well. It's so we're doing 3 a week. It's been good. I'm getting more efficient with chopping, and it's like, oh, we've done the mashed potatoes before. We've done the chopped, cut potatoes before. You do the carrots, and you just get used to doing it. So it's like, oh, I know what it's going to tell me to prep here.
Yeah.
So it's pretty simple, and yeah, I think just getting the consistency of like setting time aside to do it is good.
Yeah. Oh.
Because otherwise I would be in the studio and I would neglect eating until 10 o'clock or whatever.
You did a show this weekend, one-day
Yes.
show.
Yep. So that was the Mojave. It was called Mojave Roots. It was hosted at Mojave East in Cincinnati, which is like a wedding venue.
Mm-hmm.
So they specialize in that. They don't really specialize in events market-wise. So it was a little bit of a kind of a trial and error for them. It was a ticketed show, $5 a ticket, and then they had time slots because they don't have much parking. So they try to do the time slots to hopefully not get more than, I think, 150 people in there at once.
Yeah.
Because the parking situation kind of sucks. And I ended up selling... It was an 8x8 space, so I had a good amount of space. I ended up selling about $650 worth. So
nice.
It wasn't the best show, but I didn't have that great of expectations for it anyways because of it being
new.
For one, I was iffy about it was newer, but they also advertising wise, I don't think they like told the people that the event was happening until like 2 months before the event maybe. So that, and it was ticketed, which is a little bit iffy.
Yeah.
And it was a plant kind of show. So there was a lot of plant vendors and then like soaps and honey and things like that. There were only myself and another potter there.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked to the organizers and whatnot throughout the day. And initially she was talking to me about how they ended up finding me. So I think they were just looking at local artists and vendors and things. And they said I had the biggest Instagram following of the group. And that's part of the reason they picked me, to hope that would help with sales of tickets.
But you didn't share it.
Well, I shared
beforehand, did you?
Yeah, I did. I shared it like over 2 or 3 weeks before, like on the way to the event. I was sharing it through stories mostly.
Oh, okay. And they don't really understand that your Instagram followers are not necessarily from Cincinnati.
But yeah, so we talked about that a little bit, and they were just like, yeah, we really just like your Instagram, and not like just like the numbers of the Instagram, but they liked how I did it, and I was gonna talk to like, yeah, not everybody is local, and there's a lot of potters that follow me.
Yeah.
Not that you can't get some people there, but they liked that, and then they were cross-posting the stuff because I was doing a little, intro at the show and all that stuff, showing what was going on. So they were doing really good at cross-posting, and we just had a really good conversation with them at the end of it too, because we were spitballing a little bit about what can make it better. Because I was asking them about, like, why is it ticketed? Why do you, what is the ticket paying for?
Yeah.
And then what about the, when you start advertising for the event? Because I was kind of saying, hey, could you get the event on your site as soon as you start inviting artists, so that you're on people's radars, like, save the date for this event. And they're already improving some of that stuff for the holiday show coming up. But yeah, the ticketed thing was because it's a small parking lot. But I'm like, you just tell people to carpool. But they also had the vendors park in this like little bitty lot that was pretty much adjacent, like the same lot as the customers were parking. So like I would be willing to go up the street 1/10 of a mile and park my vehicle.
Yeah.
And walk back if that meant that they could have another 30 or 50 people.
How many spots do you think there were?
They said 150 spots, but there were I think there were 30 vendors there. So I mean that's 30 vehicles. That's not a
small parking lot.
Maybe they said, I think they said they sell 150 tickets per time slot. But that doesn't sound like that many people, because people come together, right?
Yeah, and so maybe I just feel like that's not a small parking lot. And if people want to go, they'll park somewhere and they'll walk.
Yeah. So I'll give them some feedback about that. But they also have to pay for the staff that's there, and they had a wedding the night before. So, and then I was asking about the time of the show, because it was a noon to 4:30 show on a Sunday. I was like, why wasn't it like 11 to 4 or 10 to 4 or 10 to 3:30 or something like that. So it was mostly because they were there till 1 o'clock the night before, tearing down the wedding and rearranging stuff for the show. And it was the same staff that had to get up in the morning and prep. So
that sucks.
Setup times were a little iffy. They initially gave me like 30 minutes to set up. And then they adjusted it when they sent it out the week before. They were like, okay, we adjusted it. Now your setup time is at 11 for the show that starts at noon, because they don't have a lot of space on the side where you enter to have 30 people show up at the same time.
Interesting.
So just little logistical things. So it was good. I'll give them some feedback. But I did there was a woman next to me that has a plant shop, and she was actually really interested in planters. So I might have a little wholesale thing going on with them.
Oh, nice.
So made a little connection there, and I think we're going to come up with a wholesale agreement on some planters and maybe some shot glasses that they'll use with air plants. And so we'll get a nice little connection here in the early winter, and sometimes that just makes it worth it, whether you have good sales or not. So
true.
I've had a couple shows like that. How was your show? You did one this weekend too. It was a 2-day one though.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was rough.
It was freaking rough.
Was it a series of shows that you've done before? That's like a monthly thing?
So it's called 6 Ways Market, and she does this person, I don't know if it's
that's like the hosting company or something, right?
Yeah, the hosting company is 6 Ways Market, and the human that runs its name is Becca, and they're awesome. And the show is traditionally, if I understand correctly, really great. Like, Rebecca's done it in the past and done really, really well. And it's a vintage and handmade. So
that's like a city flea event here in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah. So it's here's my perception of what has happened over the couple years that she's done them. So I think that first of all, vintage has completely taken over. There's probably like 30 handmade and 70 vintage.
Wow. 70 vintage?
Well, that's like the percentage, I would say. The
70%,
ratio.
30%. So there's not
Yeah.
100 vendors there.
I don't know, but there's a lot. There's a lot of freaking vendors there. And so, I mean, I was number 72. So,
shit.
I don't, yeah. And it's at a brewery, great brewery, super popular. I think that people are used to it. I think I think that the people that do her shows always do her shows, and so what's the point of going to it after 4 years?
You're talking about vendors or you're talking about customers?
I think the same vendors do it every single time. And
so
and
it's
people
like a
are
cycle
bored.
Of, hey, let's come to this event that we know who's going to be there. We're going to run the same laps, and we're going to see the same people.
Do the same things and the same things. Yeah.
It's vintage, so there are new
pieces,
items there.
Like new closing items, but, you know. Anyway, so it was really, really slow the first day. I made like $328 the first day. And everybody was really slow the first day. And then
especially
the second day...
you got that many vendors, and it's slow.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah, and the second day I made 700, something like that. So in the end, I probably made like 900, which is fine. Whatever. Fine. It's kind of a pricey event though. It was like $200. So
yeah,
I only had it because Rebecca had a spot and then she backed out, and so she gave it to me. So normally I wouldn't do it. That wasn't planning.
And she was backing out of a number of shows this year. Is that because of the storefront?
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, so that was sucky, but also I'm happy with the outcome.
That's better than other shows that you've said have sucked. So
yeah, I'm definitely happy with the outcome, and I'm not like upset. It was just slow.
Would you do it again?
I will say no, I wouldn't do it again. But I will say that I was set next to the beer garden, the beer tent. Right. So there's a law in Indianapolis that you can have alcohol a mile from the stadium because of the Super Bowl. You can have open containers if it comes from the original containers. So they can sell cans, open it up, give it to you, and you can walk down the street. Mm-hmm. Which I think is absolutely insane. It's fine, like but insane.
Outdoor drinking district. They've got those in a lot of big cities now.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. But, so I was right next to the beer booth. And so I got free beers the first day. And because I made friends, obviously. And then I made friends with the second girl who did the beer booth the second day. And she bought a pair of earrings from me, and I gave her a discount, and then she gave me a beer. So
nice.
I got 3 beers for free. And they're like $6 a pop. Like, right. And I organized a mimosa gathering on Sunday. So because it was so slow on Saturday, I was like, Jasmine, she was my neighbor across the way. I was like, Jasmine, do you know what we need? And she's like, what? And I was like, mimosas. She's like, let's do it. She brought orange juice. I brought 2 bottles of bubbly.
Champagne. Nice.
And then Kara bought 1 bottle of champagne. I was almost drunk by 12.
Got fucking slammered.
So, yeah. And then I got home, and on Tuesday, I was doing a consultation, and a phone number calls me, and I was like, what's that phone number? That looks familiar. So then I quickly, peeked at the message, you know how it verbally
voicemail
writes it down. Yeah, the voicemail.
Yeah.
And it was like, hi, this is Bill Estes Chrysler. Your van is here. And so then I freaked out.
Wow.
And now I have a brand new van.
You want a brand new van.
So I know I'd mentioned this before. I was very, very scared about my, about getting approved. Right. I was approved without even literally a thought.
Why'd you worry about that? Did they not do that kind of stuff before they even decided to ship you a van, or because they know somebody else would buy it if you didn't get approved?
Yeah, they knew somebody else would buy it. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Or they want to make sure that like your financials are good, even if it takes 3 months or 4 months to get the van there.
No, they don't care.
Okay.
They don't care. They don't care. They'll sell it.
I mean, what do they just have to check your credit, and that's...
Yeah, so they checked my credit. My credit score is 740. Well, I think the lowest is 733. And that's really just because I only have one credit card. Mm-hmm. And I had one late payment that I didn't know about. That was fun. And yeah, I told them I made $60,000, which turns out actually might be the case this year, which is kind of crazy. And
wow.
Yeah. It might be a little less than that, but...
So you just verbally tell them and that's it?
On the little paper. Yeah, they didn't even check my bank statements.
You could have put anything in there.
I could have put $100,000 and they would have been like, sweet. And I mean, like, I didn't lie.
But I mean, the thing is, the bank is the thing that's approving the loan. It's not like the Chrysler is going to be on the hook for the loan. Like, the bank is what's giving you the loan. So they're the one you're on the hook with, probably.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I have heard that it's a lot easier to get approved through a dealership, you know, rather than like walking into a bank and being like, hey, can you give me a loan? They'll look at your fucking bank statements, you know, but,
right.
Yeah, it was like so easy. And the guy like knew I was super nervous. I don't know why I was so nervous. Probably because, I don't know. It's just like,
because it's a big investment. Like,
yeah, it's $54,000. Like,
right.
And so he was like, he called me. I was sitting in my bed and I was like, hello. I was like, hey. Like, it's so funny. He's like, hey, it's Andrew. I'm like, oh, hi.
Got a van for me, buddy?
Yeah, so I went in yesterday and okay, yeah, it was yesterday. Sarah, my coworker, her boyfriend, went with me. He works for insurance. He's very analytical and he knows numbers. And he's also like 42. So it was like, hey, please be my, you know, husband figure or whatever type figure, you know, that's also not going to be like, call somebody out if they're being sleazy. Because those motherfuckers take advantage of you hardcore. So
you're talking about all the packages and shit like that?
Yeah. So like the dealers were fine. Like the actual like car salesman, he was great. His name was Eli. Sweet dude. They were awesome and Andrew was awesome. And I went in and I was like, hey, I'd love to trade my car in if I can get the amount that I need. And I had put in a thing for Carvana, and they were going to give me $4,200. My car, and I know this sounds ridiculous, my car is a 2014 Subaru Forester, but it has 143,000 miles on it. And it also has a hole in the ceiling and a hole in the center console. And
those are nothing. Those are aesthetic things.
The back seat doesn't work, and it's got some electrical issues. And it's got some other things. The horn doesn't work.
Oh my gosh.
So, like, you know, there's some things. And I was going to give it to Carvana because I didn't want to give it to a person because then I would feel guilty as shit. And, but I'll give it to a dealership. That's fine. I
mean, that's part of what you're paying for, or what they give you less because they've got to make the profit, right?
Right. So so Carvana had offered $4,200 and I said, I want 45 and they gave me 43. And I was like, great.
The dealership gave you 43?
Yeah, the dealership gave me 43 plus a tax credit. So it came out to 46. And I was like, awesome. Let's do it. Keep in mind that my entire booth is in the back of my car. So, and it's not clean at all. So,
you've got as much pottery in there that's probably worth $4,600 compared to the
seriously
the price of the vehicle.
Yeah, the fucking pottery is worth more than the vehicle.
The tent is half of that price, probably.
Yeah. Uh, and so, yeah, they like show me this van. It is so massive, Ryan. Like we were talking about it before this, but it is like Deanna walked up to it today and she was like, "Wow, it didn't look that big from a long ways away, but when you walk, when you're right next to it,
Did you
wow."
actually see the same kind of van at the dealership when you were
Oh yeah,
test
I
driving and
knew what
stuff?
it was gonna. Oh, I didn't test drive a damn thing. I knew it was gonna be like that.
Okay, you just didn't know. It seems like you probably would have drove a similar size, but it wasn't the extended thing or whatever.
No, I don't care. I know I can drive big things. It's not a big issue for me. Like I know
Yeah,
what they feel like.
I mean you're
You
not just
know?
gonna like trade it in or something, but it's
Yeah. Like I know what they feel like. It's not like I didn't even test drive it before I bought it. I sat in the seat and I was like, "Great, this is great. Let's go inside." Like, but this guy. So I said this before, but the guy ordered it. He ordered 2 vans, and then he dropped the ball a week before I got to the dealership, and it was the exact van I wanted, except for like all these extra things. And I was like, perfect. I'll take that one. And so it's got fucking remote start. It's got one of the key thingies where you just like push the button. It's got
push to start.
yeah, that. It's
Have
got
like
a
a
backup camera. It's
Yeah.
got the all around camera. So like when you're backing up, you can also look on the sides and like see if you're in the lines. It's got
Oh, it does. Like it shows it on the screen. This
yeah.
side.
Yeah, it shows like the
Oh.
top of the van and like what's on the sides.
What?
Yeah. And it has the mirrors flip in, like, they like
Right.
like electrically go
That's cool. Yeah,
and
mine
like
do that if I lock the car. The mirrors will fold in.
yeah, they just like and then it's got CarPlay, it's got like all the thingies. This is really small, but it has like a phone holder in
Oh,
it.
it does?
And it has a little hole so you can still like leave it charged while you're holding the
Sweet.
phone. Like it's the small things,
These things add up.
They do add up. So, yeah, and so, but anyway, I went into like the finance, and the finance guy was like, name is Mark, and Joe was like, I don't like the feel of that guy. He's like, his vibe is not okay. And we went into the finance thing, and he was training some lady, and she basically was like, okay, well, it's gonna be this and this and this, and she turns the iPad to me and goes, you just need to sign here, and I was like, excuse me.
We're not going to talk through any of these things I'm signing?
I was like, hello, I'm purchasing a $54,000 car. I need to know what's added. Like, because he was like, well, how often are you going to be driving? And I was like, plan on 20K a year. And, which it will be less, but, and I wanted an extended warranty, but, so originally, I know I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
This is a brand new car, right? 0 miles?
Yeah, this is 2023. It's not even on the fucking drop-down menus for cars yet. Like,
oh my gosh.
it is.
So it must come with some manufacturer warranty, correct?
Right. But this car doesn't even exist. Like, it's like so
first off the line or something.
Because of my car being traded in, that was $4,600 value. And then if I told Andrew I want the lowest rate you can give me. And if I added $3,500, I could get a 6%, 6.7% APR, which seems ridiculous, but that's what it is right now. And that brought my monthly payment to $840.
Okay.
$840. Keeping in mind, everybody out there is like, holy shit, that's so much. I pay $1,177 for my apartment right now. This is going to be my apartment.
Most people probably pay about $1,000 plus for their housing situation.
Yeah, so this will be my house. So this is not a car payment. This is a house payment. Then I go into the finance office and she goes, okay, so it's going to be $930 a month. And I was like, no. Andrew just said it was going to be $840. And I was like, can you please talk me through what is all of the added costs? And they're like, well, we put a tire warranty on there, and it's $10 a month, so it adds up to be $1,000. But if you break a tire, you can just come and get it fixed. And I was like, yeah, I can also get one fixed at fucking Discount Tires. And
I can get a new tire for like, I mean, I'm sure they're not $200, but they're, you know, a little bit heavier duty than that. But it's not going to cost $1,000.
Yeah, it's not going to cost me $1,000, and I don't hit curbs very often. I know I hit one once this year, but I'm done. Now I know. and
so tire warranty and what else?
And I was like, okay, well, take that off. And they're like, well, the key fob is $200. And I was like, well, I don't need another key fob. I'm not going to lose this one. And then...
Do they have a physical key that you can use as a backup or something?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I'll show you. And then he was like, I go, okay. And I said, well, how much is the extended warranty? And they're like, oh, well, it's $4,300. And I was like, and Joe looks at me and goes, that's the cost of the car that you just traded in. And I was like, fuck. And he was like, I wouldn't do it. And I was like, oh.
Well, the manufacturer warranty probably covers at least 50,000 miles, I would suspect. No?
The manufacturer warranty covers 36,000 miles or 3 years. And then the powertrain is 60,000, 6 years. So, like, the electrical, because all these, apparently these new cars, like, the electrical warranty is really important. Because...
There's a lot of sensors and all that shit, I'm sure.
All the things. And, so I'm, like, freaking out because they're, like, trying to make me, like, make a decision. And the guy's like, I get a warranty on everything. Blah, 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 blah. And
you're in the business of selling warranties, motherfucker. No shit, you're going to tell me whatever.
And I was like, well, I wanted the extended warranty, but I wasn't going to do it unless they, like, added it in without, like, an extra cost or anything like that. And so then I call my mom, and I'm like, Mom, get Dad. And then she goes, well, is the warranty in the loan? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, can you pay cash for it? And I was like, I don't know. And then she goes, do you have to buy it now?
Oh, you're saying, yeah. You're saying, like, pay for the warranty so it doesn't get interest accrued on it, right?
Right. And she's like, do you have to buy it now? And I was like, I don't know. So I, like, asked them, and you could see, like, their heart drop. I was like, do I have to buy the warranty now? And they're like, well, no, but...
They don't want to say that. They're like, don't say that.
But it will be way more expensive if you buy it later. And I was like, well, do I have to add it into my, can I pay cash for it? And he was like, well, yeah. And I was like, okay, great. We're not going to do it. And so my payment is $830.
Love it.
Love it. It was way less than I thought it was going to be, which is great.
Yeah.
And
normally there's tier, like when I was buying mine, there were like tiers of warranties, right? So there's like X number of miles, X number of years, and then the dealer the place I ended up buying it from was way cheaper. I don't know why, but it was like half of the price for the warranty, where it was like 3 year, 36,000 kind of thing. And it was like half the price, and then the dealership was like 4,000. I was like, why is the warranty so much?
Who did you get your warranty through?
The warranty's through whatever the warranty company that the one place was.
Oh, okay.
The features were basically the exact same as the other place. It's just...
Yeah, you can get like off-brand warranties, but there are some that don't, like, they're not very good apparently, according to Deanna. And
but yeah, I'm sure there's different.
Yeah, her hub friend works at, that's a husband/boyfriend, works at a Subaru dealership, so he knows all the things. But yeah, so anyway,
You got it.
We moved everything into the van. And, we had to make sure to, like, spread it out on the floor so it didn't, like, slide around.
Because you had all your pottery and everything in there?
Yeah, and all the metal shelves are, like... like... like, every time I drive, like... And there's a lot of railroads around here.
Right.
It's like...
Because it's the metal floor, right? It's not the plastic floor? Yeah. I bet it felt so humongous when you just walked in the back end of it. And it's just like, oh my God.
I'm gonna be honest. I did not walk in it when it was empty.
Oh, you didn't? You just started throwing shit in there?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, don't test drive, don't walk in it. I did that with my last car too. I bought the Subaru for the sole purpose of sleeping in the back. And then like I bought the car and then folded the seat down and it had like an incline on it and I was like, well, fuck.
Like, why did you not test that? What is this going to be like when I fold it down?
I'm an ADH human being.
That's
Okay.
a Becca move right there.
Like that is fully my MO.
You know what I did to
What?
see which vehicle version I wanted? I would fucking YouTube how to fold the seats down in a Transit 2014 and see like how to fold them down. What's the height gonna look like? Is it gonna be semi flat?
I would do that now. I would do that if I was using it for like transporting things, like for sure.
Well, you knew yours was gonna be empty, so that wasn't really a concern for this vehicle. But...
Yeah, this vehicle. And it's like you get what you get also with this. I think it's a fucking cargo van. It's like bare bones as
right.
little as possible, So
I was walking the neighborhood the other day and I saw the Amazon trucks and I'm like, those are fucking Dodge ProMasters. Like, that's probably why there's not many Dodge ProMasters out there, because Amazon's scooping up so many of them. No, that is
exactly why there are none.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they get them all serviced at all the Dodge dealerships and stuff. Like, there's,
That's a great business for Dodge there. They're like, we're fucking set.
Yeah.
Don't piss them off. Don't mess anything up. And we're set for years.
They are set. And, honestly, it drives really well. I'm still figuring out the miles per gallon because it is so brand new. You can't look it up on the internet.
Can you just look at what the last couple of years have been on it? And
Joe found something completely different than what I found. So, but right now, okay, I've been driving it for almost 100 miles. I think I was at like 80 miles because I went up north today and like ran around places and stuff. And I've hit, I think it says 16.5 miles per gallon average. So, what is yours?
I'm guessing it's a V8, right? Or V6?
It's a V6.
V6, okay.
What does yours get?
Mine's a 4-cylinder. It gets about 25, I think.
That's really good. So
mine's just like my SUV.
Yeah,
the Nissan.
I did some research and some of them say they get almost 24 on the highway, and I don't know if that's true.
Maybe that's if they're completely empty.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, they're gonna give you the best possible case, right? They're gonna give you speed limit on a 55-mile-an-hour highway, going 55.
Yeah.
With the wind going with you. I don't know.
With you, not against you. With a downdraft. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel good. I don't regret anything. I feel good about this.
What was the time period? Was it about a couple months?
I think it was 1.5 months.
Month and a half. Okay.
Month and a half.
It's not too bad.
And I'm giving my notice for my apartment on November 1st so that I will be out January 1st. And I'll probably be out a little bit before that, but
Are you bringing anything with you to the house when you come?
Your house?
Yeah.
Do you guys? I was gonna ask you if you wanted some paintings, but I figured we had time.
Yeah, we could figure it out. I don't know your trip plans for things over the coming.
Yeah.
But you got a big vehicle. I got a bigger vehicle now too. So hey, you need to be like, hey Ryan, bring that big vehicle.
Yeah. Well, I'm going down to your Christmas party at your mom's house, so we can.
Okay. You coming to that and Thanksgiving? Or are you talking about the other?
I'm cooking Thanksgiving.
Right. Are you coming to the party too?
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. That's like 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, I'm gonna try at least. And
That'll be fun.
Unless I have a show. But
Okay. I mean, we have the West Side Market on the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay. So maybe I'll just
But we can figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But Yeah, so I'm like really really happy. I'm glad. I was super stressing about selling the Subaru. So
It's
happy.
off your hands now.
So happy. He was like, "You don't by any chance have the title, do you?" And I was like, "Right here." And he was like, "Whoa." And I was like, "I'm a fucking genius, man. What up?"
That was the finance guy you said that to?
No, I said it to Andrew.
Oh, I was like, this has got to be the cool dude that you were like, hey.
Yeah. I was like, "You're never gonna forget us." I also did give them two shitty cups.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not like they have a stamp or anything, but their wives will like it.
Why wouldn't they like it?
Well, Andrew was like, "My wife is gonna love this."
Okay, there you go.
So, yeah, but and everybody keeps asking me, "What are you gonna name it? What are you gonna name it?" And I don't know because I feel like it's really cliche to name your van. But I'm thinking if I have to name it, it's gonna have to be like the Big Lebowski or the Dude, you know, like.
Are you gonna sticker out the back end of it?
Probably.
I was a little sad when I saw the Subaru. I was like, all those stickers.
I know.
But I mean, you're not gonna take them off, so.
I know. It's okay though, because I have a few stickers that I've been saving. I got a
There you go.
Snarf's sandwich sticker. I have.
Nice.
I have a community clay sticker. I've got a few that I've been saving.
Okay.
Yeah. I know.
Sweet.
I need to get "Don't drink and park, accidents cause people." That is a classic sticker that I've had on every single vehicle, so that needs to
I
stay.
like that one. That's pretty good.
It's a great one. Also, "Save a tree, eat a beaver," or no, not that one.
I
Save
don't
a
know
cow,
that one.
Save a cow, eat a vegetarian. That one's really rude, but I still think it's funny. Even though
Save a cow.
Eat a vegetarian.
Eat a vegetarian.
P.S. I love the vegetarians. I also love the vegans. I cook for you guys all the time. I just think that's a really funny sticker. And yeah, so yeah, excited. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm gonna build, like we said before, I'm gonna build it out really slowly. Cash. But since I have a little bit extra cash, I might get that baby test kiln.
Really?
Right now. Like, I might get it tomorrow. So.
Well, did you ever sell some of your studios? Like the high roller, did you sell that yet?
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure you got some studio stuff you can sell to offset some of that too, to help.
Right. I'm like, should I sell the high roller? Because, like, I've been thinking about it, and I could store it at my, I could store it somewhere.
Are you going to use it? Like, is this like a maybe I'll use it down the road? Because I feel like you don't really use that at all. But I'm not in your studio.
I do use it.
Do you use it weekly or do you use it?
Yeah, I use it for earrings, and I'll be using it for plates and stuff. I do use it, and I'm like, will I use it in my future? That's my question. Like, you know.
I mean, what could you get something? How much money could you get for it? I mean, could you get
at least 1,000?
1,000? I mean, that's a lot of money. You could probably get a slab roller for like. Could you do a tabletop slab roller that's $200?
Yeah.
Like $1,000 is a lot for a slab. Like, and those aren't on the market, so you have to buy those new, right? I mean, people aren't just getting rid of those.
No.
What if you sold it to like a community studio or something? I bet they would pay
good
money for it, right?
Bad
idea?
Yeah, that roller's hard to teach new people.
Oh, okay.
It's just not new people.
You sell it to a professional that I'm sure will appreciate it.
I don't know. Okay, well, we'll see.
It seems like a big piece of equipment.
No, I agree. It is a big piece of equipment, but it's a big piece of equipment I own debt-free. Like, it's...
What about your kiln? You're trying to get rid of your kiln?
Not necessarily, not yet. You were the one that was trying to get rid of my kiln.
I wasn't trying to get rid of it. You were like, maybe I'll just sell the kiln. And I was like, you just fucking bought the kiln. That thing's got like 100 miles on it.
You're right. It has 100 firings on it.
Motherfucker.
But still, it's like, I don't want to get rid of the kiln. And I'm like, ugh, this is so
But it is
tough.
a huge kiln. If you're not going to be making production pottery, then maybe it makes
It's
sense.
not
But
a huge kiln.
it's a big. Your kiln. Your uh.
It's
Your
only
co-art
7
is not a
cubic
huge kiln.
feet.
That's a big kiln when you're making jewelry. You don't need a fucking 7 cubic foot kiln.
Oh, yeah, I know that. That's why I'm getting the little baby kiln.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't really do the production pottery out of a smaller one. So what do you're going to be commuting to different kilns, probably?
Well, I was hoping that I could come back to my studio and just make a bunch of pots and then throw them in the van and then cart them around, you know?
Yeah.
That would be ideal.
Nomadic potter situation.
Yeah. And like I've gotten it down to really all I need is the wine glasses and the spoon rests, really.
Mm-hmm.
And the fancy cups. That's it. Which are wine glasses. So, I mean, like, that's easy to store. And, like...
Yeah.
It looks like I have a lot more when I have the jewelry with it. Also, this weekend, so many people bought the wine glasses and I upped them to $30. Didn't even fucking blink.
The shitty wine glasses?
Mm-hmm.
The minute wine glasses? I'm a little nervous about this $20 spoon rest situation. Rachel keeps trying to talk me out of it because she's like, what the fuck does Becca know? But...
I had tons of people buy spoon rests this weekend, too. They didn't even blink an eye.
Okay. Not a lot of eyes blinking over there for you.
No blinking of eyes.
But you said it was a shitty show.
Well, of what they bought. I mean, like, it was
Mid-shitty
shitty
show.
because there was nobody there. Like, the people that actually bought stuff.
Okay. There just needed to be a bigger crowd of people to...
Well, you can't... Okay, if you make your fucking spoon rest $15, I'm making them $15. Like, they've got to be
That's
the same
fine,
price.
but I was going to say I'm willing to go up to 18. 20 is a little pushing it for me when they're already 15. But...
18's fine. We'll do 18.
All right.
Can you please make me a sign that says 18?
I mean, Rachel's going to have to handwrite it, but yeah.
Okay, well, her handwriting's better than mine.
I think I need an 18 one for the next year anyway, so I'll... it's too soon. I can't get the...
Oh, wait,
one
no,
woman
I
to
have a
make them
sign.
for me.
Never mind. I have a sign. Oh, man, people are probably hating us right now.
They probably fucking despise us. 51 minutes in. We haven't talked a single thing about... We'll always talk about some pottery, but... That's what the show was going to be today.
That's just the way it is. That's the way the
You
cookie
can't-
crumbles.
You can't hit it out of the ballpark every time.
No, you can't. Plus, it was a big day. It's a big day.
It was. It is.
Oh, also, can I say something that might be helpful to some people? So I've been like testing glues because I'm putting backs on earrings, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so naturally, my first thought was E6000. So I got some E6000. Total shit. Did not work at all. Yeah, I think that it does,
Why
but
not?
it takes 3 days to cure. 3
Holy
days.
shit.
3 days.
Did you rock tumble these that you were gluing it to?
Yeah, but they were still kind of rough. They were like
Okay,
quick,
the surface of
quick
the clay
tumbled.
doesn't necessarily mean it
Right,
wasn't working.
and you're putting the post like in it. It's got a little indent, you know. It's got a little pokey, a hole in it.
In the back of your earrings?
Yeah, like the edge of this pen.
Oh, okay.
So you're putting the post inside that, so it's like in the hole, like that.
Okay.
And so E6000 was a no-go. And then I tried 2-part epoxy, and that was good and bad. So like half of them didn't work, but half of them did. But now I'm trying Loctite gel super glue. That's my next
Wow.
test.
Experimentation.
Next test.
Okay.
So I think this one's gonna be a winner.
Nice.
Yeah.
My brother actually used to work in the Loctite warehouse in Louisville. He
God
did some
damn it.
inventory stuff for some...
It's expensive. Like it's 0.14 ounces for $6.
Wow.
Gorilla super glue is 0.54 ounces for about $6. So
Okay. I would have thought the 2-part epoxy would be pretty good. I mean, that's usually what I use for a bunch of different stuff, but you probably got to get the consistency just right.
yeah, you have to make sure it's like exact. and I
You're not
don't
an exact.
know.
I fucking grew up on two-part epoxy. My dad always had it in the drawers, and he's like, all right, two-part epoxy. Like the EB Weld shit, I
Yeah,
think.
the JB Weld. That's what I have.
JB Weld, all right,
JB
whatever.
Weld. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not a two-part epoxy.
Did you get the
person.
contraption that has them
Yeah.
side by side?
Still same. Still did that, and I still did it wrong. I
mean, all you do is squeeze it out and just use a toothpick and stir it up, and then
You
put it
know,
on.
you're right. You're
Did that
correct.
not happen?
It's, no. I don't know what went wrong, but I mean, I used to use two-part epoxy on a lot of things. I feel like there is one that mixes it for you. That's what I want. I want one that like mixes it for you.
So you need a side by side, and you need a mixer
In it.
in it.
I want it side by side to squeeze into a tube that like swirls it around and then squeezes it out.
Oh my! I feel like you're asking a lot.
I don't think that's too much to ask for.
There's fucking directions for a reason. All right, should we move on? I feel like we're about an hour here.
You should maybe put on the notes if you want to skip.
Skip an hour.
Skip
ahead.
the hour. Oh,
We'll get to it eventually. Maybe.
probably not.
All right, should I ask this listener question?
Yeah.
All right, listener question from the Untortured Artist with underscores under between those. So I have a question for a question or two. I just wanted to throw your direction and see if you guys have episodes that discuss this or know of any artists that may specialize in extrusion pieces. We just got a new extruder at my college studio, and I was curious if you guys had any extruder die ideas or maybe shapes that you found useful or interesting to play with. So, did you ever have an extruder at your studio or play with one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Was it
got
like the heavy duty wall ones?
Yeah, and it was like a cheapo, really shitty one. I think that I've seen, probably the best one is the handy dandy clay extruder. From what I've seen.
I don't know the differences. I just know that they're like really heavy steel. The ones that I've seen that are like legit. They don't look very fancy, but they get the job done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would say that the most useful die that you're going to make or have would be a handle die.
We should probably look up what this person makes. Because I had a different idea of what would be the best thing.
Huh. Well, I think, so Rebecca extrudes all of her handles at the store at Gravesco, and I really like the way they feel. They're not bad,
This is Sean Spellinger. So it's a college setting.
Yeah.
Just making some bowls, some mugs, kind of testing things out. So the one thing I was gonna say that was really useful, even when you're out of school, is to use a fucking test tile die.
Test tile die, yes.
That's great. So I had one that was it's basically just a square, and then you just extrude it out, and it's just a long tube, square, whatever, and then I just cut them into sections, and then I would put holes in them if you want to hang them or whatever, and put texture on them.
Yeah.
And then I literally left college with like 100 test tile pieces.
Yeah.
Of the clay, and I had some extra college clay that I was able to use. So
yeah,
test tiles, that's my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's dies out there that are like kind of an angled L, kind of an arrow sort of shape that you can get as well. They're like self-standing.
Those ones you can put like waves in them so that you can make them so they
have a little texture built into it.
Yeah, have a little resistance. So he's going for test tiles. I'm going for handles, and one thing that Rebecca does that I think is just brilliant is a soap dish.
Soap dish, okay. The other thing I was thinking was, I feel like you've mentioned that before, right? It's like a kind of a U shape. Is that what it is?
No, it's square. So I have one in my shower, but it's it's like a rectangle, and then it's got high waves so the soap can drain, and then on the bottom it has low waves so it sits.
So what does the profile of that look like in the dye?
It looks like this.
And is it it's a solid form? Like, you're not like cutting it or something.
It looks like this.
Oh, okay.
So
it looks like a comb, kind of.
It looks like a comb.
Cartoon comb.
Yeah, it looks like an Ed, Ed, and Eddie comb.
Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Okay, cool.
So I really like that because it's like a really practical.
Oh yeah,
soap
that's
dish.
awesome.
It's fantastic. It's like the best soap dish, and
imagine how easy that is. You just poop that thing out and
cut it up and smooth out the lines, and you're all good.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. I think there's like unlimited possibilities for extrusions.
Isn't there like a U-shaped thing that somebody was mentioning that would be good for? Is that for like a sponge holder or something?
Oh,
did somebody mention that?
Oh my god, you could totally make sponge holders with an extruder. That would be so good. You'd have to make like a U with little feet, you know?
So it stood up.
You should do that.
Totally doable.
You should for sure.
I'm not doing that.
Somebody should. That'd be so much better than throwing them.
We were talking about before when we read the question. I was like, are there people that extrude kind of a sort of like a teardrop shape, but it's like tapered a little bit, and kind of like how people coil build or slab build, you would extrude out a piece that you could easily like build onto itself and join it as you're building up a pot vertically on the wheel. And you could probably have an extruded 2 or 3 inch section of clay and then join it with what's there and then paddle it or whatever. I don't know if it's like a...
There is some lady on Instagram, I follow her, I don't remember her name, but she extrudes pieces that are almost like a V shape, and then she uses them for her pieces. Like, she makes dishes out of them, and the way she does it is really cool. But
so she's extruding a V and she's cutting it up and attaching it to different pieces?
She's extruding the V, and that V, the bottom is part of a dish. It's I can't explain it, but the two bottoms of the V get connected, and then there's the walls and stuff, and it becomes almost like a, I don't know.
That's hard to...
It's hard to explain.
It just sounds like a little moat or something.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a moat. Yeah.
So she attaches the V, the pointed side of the V to something?
I don't remember.
To a wall? That seems kind of weird.
You know what?
Maybe I'm just misunderstanding the way that she attaches it.
I found it.
All right, what's her Instagram?
Wait, did I find it? Yes, I did. It's Ashen Wren Ceramics. ASHENWREN Ceramics. And so she takes... So, what the fuck? Okay, so she's making
I was looking for one of the things on here. Oh, I can see it looks like a dome shape though. It doesn't really look like a...
She's making pillboxes. That's cool. And she's extruding the pillboxes and in a U form, and she's also extruding cool incense holders. And look at these fucking pill boxes. Are you looking at them?
I'm looking at her extruding them.
They're really freaking cool. And I feel like it's really smart the way she's doing it.
Oh, yeah, that is cool. How does she get the vertical walls, though?
I don't know.
Seems very... But, I mean, you wouldn't want to hand build that.
No. So, anyway, I feel like there's... she's doing what you need to do.
Yeah, that's a very specialty... It's a very specialty item, but, I mean, how many people can go to a show and see a pill bottle? A
pillbox? I would totally buy a pillbox. Oh, and do you know what? Oh, gosh. Nick, my coworker, it's NW Pottery. He made the cutest little elephant phone holder. Your mom wanted one. He made the cutest little elephant phone holder and he extruded it. And it's so gosh dang adorable.
I feel like you showed me this before, the dye of it.
Yeah.
Because it's weird the way you have to extrude it, but I'm sure you can cut. I mean, you could shape it whatever you want and then just cut it, design it, put some whatever on it.
Put a little holder on it so it holds your phone or whatever. A phone holder, I think, would be a great design.
You could do like little holders for like business cards or something, or
a napkin holder. Oh my gosh, you could do a napkin holder.
You could probably do napkin rings too.
Napkin rings. You could.
Do people buy napkin rings?
I don't know. I don't.
No.
But Val does. Val has napkin rings. You could.
Can we just say possibilities are endless and move on?
Quite literally endless. But we've got a few things. Oh, also I wanted to say one little trick. Okay, so as you are extruding, what I recommend is getting any plastic bag that you get from the grocery store. And especially if you have a pugger, you can put the log that you're going to put into the extruder into the plastic bag and just poke a hole with your finger in the bottom of it and then put it into the extruder. And then when you extrude out, all of the clay will just be squished up in the bag and it doesn't go into your extruder.
How big of a bag? Like a tall kitchen bag?
Like grocery bag.
So it goes the length?
No, a little grocery bag.
But isn't the extruder way deeper than that? Isn't it going to get all... Well, I guess it depends on how much clay you're putting in there, but...
Even then, I feel like it's pretty big enough. Yeah.
Okay. I remember cleaning those things sucked whenever...
It does suck. That's why I recommend putting it in a plastic bag, because then you don't have to clean it.
Okay.
That's my trick.
Nice. Is there a preference of clay moisture level with the extruder?
I don't know.
Fresh out of the bag, or do you want it a little firmer?
I think fresh out of the bag, probably. Yeah. But also, if you do the bag trick, you do have to, like, puncture the bag somehow in the bottom so that it does, like, actually...
Have a way to escape.
Yeah, have a way to escape.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Sweet.
what's our next question?
Are we just talking about our topic? Because I feel like we're pretty far in here.
We just spent an hour talking about absolutely nothing and 8 minutes talking about extruders.
Do you want me to ask the next question then?
I like that second question.
Okay, ask it.
Okay.
We're just playing on the fly here, people. We're having fun tonight.
I love the transparency of you both sharing what your sales were after a show. My price range is from $4 to $65. I have a lot of lower priced items for sale. My average sale per person at my most recent show was $28. I have been scoffed at by other potters at art shows for offering lower priced items. Well, fuck them.
She didn't say that. Becca added that.
I said that. Because you should not say that regardless. At my most recent show, I was one sale away from having $6,000 in sales. It was a 2-day show. I really would like to know how my sales compare to other potters at the show who offer only higher price. Oh, that show only. Okay. I would really like to see how my sales compare to other potters at the shows who offer only higher priced items. My question is, have you asked other potters at a show how much their sales were? If so, how do you go about it? Keep in mind that these are juried art shows and a lot of them act like their shit don't stink.
I fucking love that.
I know, and it's so fucking true. Um, and that's the watering can pottery.
The watering can pottery. All right, good question here.
Also,
All right, so,
can I just say congrats?
Yeah, congrats. $6,000. That's great.
That's nothing to scoff at. And,
yeah, that's great.
Those other potters, I will say this: if they're $4 items, don't take any time at all, then they're worth $4. If they take some time and you're not getting paid for your $4, maybe make them 6.
Yeah.
Or 8. But I think that it is absolutely okay that you have lower priced items. Clearly it's working for you. Make sure you're not working too hard. Okay, now, how do we ask other people how much money they make at a show? Let's talk about that.
Okay. So, obviously it depends on if I know the person or not. Usually, I will get into it by offering them how much I made, if it's within the realm. If they're like, how did you do today? I was like, oh, well, I was expecting blah, 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 blah. I sold about $3,500. Pretty good. Like, I'll just kind of tease it in there if I want to throw it in there. If I don't, then I don't. But if it's people that I see over and over and I know them pretty well, I'll like offer that up. Mm-hmm. And if they want to say, they can say. I'm not going to directly ask them, hey, how was your show today? I'm not going to say, how were your sales today? I'm going to just be like, hey, how'd you feel like the show went today for you?
Yeah.
And then if they want to offer it, I just don't want to put them in a position where they have to answer with a number directly if they don't want to, if they're not comfortable with it. Because just because I'm comfortable sharing that doesn't mean they have to be, or they are.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I would generally approach it.
Yeah.
Usually I also don't really, unless it's somebody I know, I don't really care how their sales were. Like, unless I'm wondering about if they've done other shows that I'm interested in, or how did this sales here compare to the sales that you did at this other show that I saw you at, or whatever. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff is kind of more interesting to me, because we might have sold the same thing, and I have a number in my head of what I sold at that show, and then I can compare it and see how they did.
But I do think it's a valid question to be like, I wonder how the people that sell high priced items as opposed to somebody who sells lower priced items does at these shows, you know? Like, am I selling myself short, or are they, you know, shooting for the moon? Yeah.
Do you think the number is a little bit... The number might not be the best gauge for that. The sales amount that you sold may not be the best gauge. I think maybe the percentage of your sales, like inventory-wise, how much of your inventory did you sell to make that $6,000? That kind of relates, because we were talking to Tim recently, and he was like, you know, maybe you sold $6,000, but you depleted 75% of your booth, right. Or I think that, and then how many other shows do you have? That might be also a factor that I would wonder. You know, you sold $6,000, but do you have nothing left in your booth?
Right. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, but also, like, the people that are selling higher price items don't have to sell as much as the people selling lower priced items. So, you know, there is that. I think that Sarah is a good example. Like, we had Sarah on last week, and she mentioned that she made like 4,000 or 3,000 at, you know, at
Michiana?
or something, a
Oh,
Michiana or
Penrod, yeah.
something. Yeah. But I mean, like, that's typical a show for her. And she's not like packing her booth, and her pots are expensive. Like, she's not.
Yeah. Her average price is probably your top end price.
Right. Her average price is 70. And
Yeah.
yeah. So like, um,
But they have to attract, they don't have to attract as many buyers to,
yeah.
right? They don't need as many buyers
Right.
to reach that 6,000
Right.
as you would to reach 6,000.
But they might work a lot fucking harder for that 6,000, than you did.
That's true.
If
Yeah.
you're,
They probably have to talk about the process a lot more to sell $100 mug than it is to say, let's say I sell a mug for $28. Do I have to sell that mug? Or is it more they like the color, they like the feel of the handle, and it's within their price range?
yeah. Oh, I was going to say how I tell people and ask people. So,
Have you asked other potters at a show how much their sales were? If so, how do you go about it?
I'm also looking up, did you look up the watering can potteries pieces?
I did not.
They're
I think
pretty
I've seen her
good.
stuff before.
Okay. So how I would normally go up to somebody is I will just kind of like, I guess I'll just sort of say, like, I'd go up and be like, hey, Ryan, how are you doing? And be like, are you like one of those type of people that likes to share like numbers? Are you like in competition, or are you kind of like hoping that everybody does well? That's what I ask.
You do that with a complete stranger?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, like, I'll start off a conversation. I think it's important to like start off a conversation and like have that.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's definitely easier to do that with your neighbors too, if you've already
like with your
built a
neighbors,
little
and
rapport
like
with them.
like at this last show, we were all kind of like, what did you make? Because, and I think that it's, I do not necessarily ask, but I would say like, what I'll say is, I'm just curious, like, what does a good show mean? And you don't have
to.
Yeah, to you. And it's like, and I'll say, now you don't necessarily have to tell me, but if you're comfortable, I would love to hear what a good show is for you. And I also always say, I'm not in competition. I want everybody to do super well at these shows, and like, but you kind of have to feel it out. You usually know right away if they're never going to tell you anything. Now, I know people that have done shows and they actually can't tell their people. Like, I knew somebody that did like a farmer's market, and the farmer's market was so good for her that she like literally couldn't tell anybody how much she made because people would be like, what the fuck?
What do you mean?
Like, she would make $3,000 at a farmer's market, and
but people could infer how good her selling was, whether they know a number or not. Like, if people are lining up and they're continually walking away with stuff, they could be like, okay, well, her average price item is $40 and she's had customers all day. She probably made a lot of money.
Ryan, that's you. You would do that.
No, I'm not estimating how much, but looking in a booth,
you
like,
sell a
hey,
lot, but you don't know how much, like, you just don't know how much.
You could figure that out.
You could figure that out. You're smarter than the average human.
I mean, do you care to know the number?
No.
Are you saying she doesn't want to say it because of other vendors would get?
Other vendors get all pissy with her, yeah. Like,
but that's not her fucking fault.
I know, but that's how it is, But I will say, like, I think it's just good to like open up a dialogue and open up a conversation and just kind of be like, I never know what people's shows are that are good is, like, somebody's show that's good could be $200 versus somebody's show that's bad. And like, I asked somebody this week and I was like, how did you do yesterday? And she's like, really bad. I was like, well, how much did you do? And she goes, I don't even want to say. And I was like, that's cool. That's cool. Like, if you don't want to say, that's fine. Like,
do you kind of offer her a little something so she feels more comfortable?
In that particular instance, it was a different situation, but
Not that you need her to answer, but you could say, "Yeah, I felt like this traffic was a little slow. I wasn't as impressed. I sold a little over $300."
yeah, I don't know if I would have said. I don't think I said $300. I was like, it's really slow. I did bad yesterday, you know.
Yeah.
But
Are you more comfortable sharing if it was a bad day or if it was a good day?
probably if it's a good day.
It's a good day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you worry that? I'm sure there's some people that also your good day is like a bad day for them. So
exactly. So you never know.
But that's why it's relative, and that's why you kind of talk with them about it if you're interested. You could just be like, "Hey, I'm still getting the hang of this show. I've never done the show before. Was this a good show for you today?"
Yeah.
And if you're comfortable, I'm curious. Would you also be more comfortable talking with another person of your medium versus talking to a completely different person?
Totally. But I think it's really important to, like you said, say, if you are comfortable, I'd love to hear what kind of sales you actually get, you know? Because some people just be, you know what, I'm not comfortable with doing that. And you say, cool, that's fine. And then change the subject and be like, what kind of pudding do you like? Like, just change it quickly.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then. Yeah.
Hi, how are you doing today? Alrighty then. I was trying to remember that whole thing.
One time I watched Ace Ventura: Pet Detective in art history in college, and everybody behind me was watching it with me because I was the one with the laptop and it was on mute.
Oh, I thought you meant you're watching it in the class, not like on your laptop.
No,
I thought you meant as a class.
I was on my laptop and we were watching Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, and she was like doing like a lecture, and we were watching it on mute, and it was so hard not to fucking laugh, like when he's in the elephant butt.
When Nature Calls.
Oh yeah, it was When Nature Calls, not the second one.
Not the first one.
Is it the first one?
No, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective is the first one.
First one, and
the
then
second one is called
Nature Calls.
Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, I think.
Pet Detective: When Nature Calls, or something like that. My favorite part is, I think it's in the first one. Because Slinky, Slinky, everyone loves a Slinky.
I don't remember that part.
Well, he does it at the top. He like goes to the very top of the temple.
That's got to be the second one.
And then he drops the Slinky down the stairs, and then it stops on the last one. He's like, "Oh,
I gotta
come
remember
on!
that.
You gotta be kidding me!"
I'm sure he like gets down there right at the floor level and is like yelling at this Slinky doing that. Doesn't he?
And he's like hopping down the stairs, Slinky, Slinky, everyone loves the Slinky.
My favorite part is in the first one when he's outside on the landing with the door and he's screaming and he's opening and closing the door. This is double-proof pane glass.
Can we watch Ace Ventura this weekend?
If we could find out where it's streaming. I probably have it on my...
That's what I was thinking. You probably have it on Plex. I probably have it on Plex too.
I do have it on Plex. Oh, that's great. This is double pane proof glass.
Ugh, so funny. Oh yeah, no, it's not free anywhere.
I got it.
Sweet. Stoked.
Rachel probably doesn't like... Well, I think she kind of likes Jim Carrey. She doesn't like She doesn't like Dumb and Dumber.
What?
She doesn't like Step Brothers. She doesn't like those kind of... She might not like Ace Ventura, actually.
What? Dumb and Dumber is so funny. I love Dumb and Dumber.
It's great. We watch it so much as kids.
Like, if it's
hilarious.
dumb humor, I'm all for it. If it's dumb, smart humor, not for it. Like, if it's awkward humor, I can't do that. But,
What's an awkward humor? What are you talking about? What's a movie? I think like Monty Python's kind of like awkward humor. I feel like that's a little
Monty
bit.
Python's dumb humor. Monty Python's dumb humor. I feel like awkward humor is almost like The Office.
Okay.
I liked The Office. It's not my favorite. Parks and Rec, not my favorite.
They don't hold up as much as the first time I watched it. The Office I feel like holds up. Parks and Rec I'm like
yeah,
little bit not like I don't like it as much as
Seinfeld.
The Office.
Love,
Yes,
love,
classic.
I don't
I
know.
think the Parks and Rec, The Office was kind of in that time period where it was really popular to do that. So it really shined in that period because it wasn't as popular and it was like a newer way of doing the show.
Yeah. I don't know. Like any movies that make me feel awkward and I'm not even in the movie, those are hard for me.
Some of the movies that come to mind are like the Wes Anderson ones. Those feel awkward, but those are like comedies.
Oh no, I
like
love Wes Anderson.
Moonrise Kingdom and like Budapest Hotel. I'm like,
I fucking love those movies.
These are just weird. It's like too artsy for me. I don't.
Yes, it is too artsy for you. Like Sunshine Cleaning, love Sunshine Cleaning. Little Miss Sunshine, loved it. I don't know. Now I can't even think about it. I guess like maybe I just like dumb humor when it has like Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey. So
The Mask.
Yep.
Love that one.
So anyway, should we just call this one quits?
I feel like we got to talk about something else. We're questioning this on the fly. We're 125 into this fucking thing. People are going to get an hour of bullshit and 25 minutes of answering questions. We got to give them something else, Becca.
Okay. Well, what we had planned for today.
We'll give them 25 more minutes of something here.
Okay. What we'd planned was we are sharing a booth this weekend. And so what you are about to experience is me and Ryan yelling at each other about how we would like to set up our booth, because we thought that it would be a good idea, to kind of like, I don't know, some people share booths, and I think it's important to like.
We're sharing a booth because I did this show 3 or 4 years ago, and I shared a booth with somebody. It's an expensive booth. We paid for a corner. We also paid for a corner. Paid for a corner last time. Yeah. The booth itself is
$500.
I think it's about it's $450 or $500.
$500. Yeah, and I literally like
weekend.
Found that out a month ago, and I was like, was I aware of the price? Yes. When I said yes. Apparently I was. Okay, so we're on the corner.
We're gonna be together. This is not gonna be a Becca Expo Center flop show that you pay $500 for.
No.
I'm gonna make sure this is a good show.
Okay, Ryan.
Maybe I'm putting too much pressure on myself.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with whatever. But I think it's good. So I think what will make this show successful for us is that me and Ryan, other than our spoon rests, have very opposite type of items. So
we're attracting different customers.
Yes. So I am coming in with my wine glasses. He is coming in with his mugs. It is a coffee show, so I will be at a disadvantage. But I don't think so, actually. Like quote unquote disadvantage. And I'm also selling jewelry there as well. So I'm trying to attract the men's wives that are dragged there that just want to be drunk. Those are the people.
What are you talking about? Women love coffee too.
I know, but sometimes men bring their wives to those events.
And you know what? I got a lot of contact from there too. Was the baristas from the coffee booths.
Oh,
because there's a lot of local coffee shops that do the show.
Yeah.
And they walk around and they're like looking at mugs and they're like, I need a new mug. Or I've got some. I sold probably. Some people bought like 4 or 5 mugs from me at the show, and they were like, we work at a coffee shop. We own this coffee shop, and we love to have a selection of, they appreciate the handmade stuff. So you'll probably get some people. They're like, I like some earrings because I go to a coffee shop and work every day. Like, I want to wear something nice.
Well,
or
I don't
they
think there's
want
going to be a
a
lot of earring
espresso.
people.
There'll be some earrings
Will there?
flying through there. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never been to this show.
This is your first show that you've done in Cincinnati too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was talking to somebody at this last show, the Six Ways Market show, and she's from Cincinnati. She does little kitty bow ties. She's the bow tie I gave you for autumn with the polka dots. She did that, and she was like, Cincinnati's way better than Indy for markets. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I think we should have an outward L. Ryan thinks
we have a corner.
we have a corner.
It's a 10 by 10 space, and we have a corner.
We have 10 by 10 space, and we have a corner.
And it's indoor. There's no tent.
Yeah, indoor, no tent. And I assume that the backs are
The backs are probably going to be
curtained?
covered. There's probably going to be a curtain or something, I would suspect. The last one I did was actually in the convention center, and it was a big hall, carpeted hall or something. So
Yeah.
there was more space to go around, but there's probably fewer booths at this time.
Okay. So here's my thoughts. I think that we should do like a half-half type booth where,
One table, one table.
yeah, or like you have the left side, I have the right side. And here's the reason why I think that we should have it facing an L outward. And then you can tell me why you think we should have it facing inward. I think that we should have it facing outward so each of us can stand behind our prospected sections.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I want to hear what do you think?
Okay, so I originally suggested last time, because last time we had...
Oh, yeah, and I want to hear what you did last time with your buddy.
last time we had an inward U.
Okay.
We had a corner, and the person I vended with also made functional stuff. So she had... It wasn't a connected U.
Okay.
Each corner was kind of separate.
Okay.
They were like open. So it was like a table or like a shelving unit all the way up to the front edge of the booth that went back probably 6 feet-ish. And then we had a 6-foot table in the middle at the back. And then we had a standing shelving unit.
Okay.
That was accessible on both sides.
Yes.
That was on the exterior.
Okay.
Like on the corner. So people could come in, look at her stuff, look at both of our stuff on the standing shelving unit from both sides of it.
Yeah.
And then they could come to the back section, the back table if they wanted. And then we were actually sitting at not opposite
Ends.
corners, but like at both of those corners in the back. So right next to the 6-foot table at the back.
Okay.
So people could come in, they could circle through, they could actually go around like through they could just see that outward area on both sides. So that's kind of why I was like, if we do an inward U kind of shape. I don't have a standing shelving unit like we had before, so
I do though. I have a 5-foot shelving unit, but it's not huge.
5 foot tall or width-wise?
5 foot tall.
Okay, and it's
3
like a
feet wide?
36-inch maybe.
3 feet wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not huge, but it would be. So yeah, I was thinking table on the side that we share with our neighbor.
Okay.
Against their side. So maybe 6-foot table. They might give us an 8-foot table. I can't remember, but 6-foot, 8-foot table, something like that. And then 6-foot table across the back, and then do this in the back. We could sit behind it or sit next to it or whatever, and then do the standing 3-foot by 5-foot, shelving unit at the corner of the booth. So something that's going to grab people's eyes to come to that, look at that. Maybe I have a couple shelves and you have a couple shelves or what. I don't know how many shelves are on it, but
yeah,
maybe have a little earring display on there to get some eyes to that. And then I have some different forms, like a cross section of my forms on it. And then that draws people in to look at that and then go to the different tables that have more of whatever they're looking for.
More of the things.
I just worry that the shelving unit is going to be bumped or knocked or something.
Right.
But if it's stable enough, maybe it's not an issue. But that's what I was thinking.
How have you been doing your shows recently? Have you been doing your outward
If possible,
U?
I've been doing an outward L. If I have people that can get around on the outsides of it. The only reason I was against the outward L at this one is because it's a designated corner and there's no tent. So we can't really use the middle of that. Well, maybe we could. What if we did the outward L, but we had the standing shelving unit at the where
corner.
the tables kind of meet?
At the corner?
Would that work?
Yeah.
I don't know if a 3-foot shelving unit would be too big for where those tables meet.
No, I think we could do it. I think we could do it because if we had 8 feet, so my table can go to 8 feet instead of 10, and yours can do
6 foot. Maybe 8 foot.
You might get an 8-foot table. Will they have tables there?
I think they're going to provide one 8-foot table.
Okay, so if they had an 8-foot table, we could raise it up, and you could put your things on the 8-foot table, and then you can maybe put some stuff behind you too.
I just wanted to make sure that we were. I see the benefit of the outward L because people don't have to walk into the space.
It. Yeah,
you can just approach it, and you're already in the walking path. And it's also going to depend a little bit based on how big the space is that we're in.
Yeah.
In entirety.
Yeah.
So, like, are people making big laps to get around the booths?
Mm-hmm.
If there's not a ton of booths in there, and if it's in the space that I think it's in, which is where the Crafty Supermarket is and Music Hall, it's like a kind of like a subway where it's got like an arched ceiling.
Okay.
Like a tube, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's really decorative, and then it's all wood floors, and there's normally I think there's usually 4 sections of tables. So it's like 2 big islands that are probably like 10 by 10 back to back maybe. And then there's people on the exterior against the wall.
Yeah.
So I would suspect we're going to be in the middle section on a corner.
Okay.
But I don't remember. I think the spaces that I've seen there before were 6 foot by 3 foot or 8 foot by 3 foot. So maybe there's not going to be that big of space.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what's going to determine a little bit. I also tailor it based on where we are. Like, if we're the first thing you see when you walk in, maybe I'd be more willing to do an inward L than an outward L. But if we're on the back side,
outward L all the way.
Outward L all the way.
I think that the outward L would... Okay, here's my thought for that, too. Because, like, if somebody's attracted to my stuff as opposed to your stuff... they know who they're talking to. You know, you'll be like sitting right behind it. Like you would at a normal outdoor show where you have your little outdoor U thing. That is appealing to me because then like there's tables in front of us too, so it's like hiding most of, like, you know, we look like we're assertive and all the things. I need to get a tall chair.
I have an extra one.
Do you?
Do you want to use mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the one I have an extra one I use in my studio. It's got the navy and wood. It'll be basically the same chair I use, except it's going to be navy instead of black with a cloth.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to try it out for the show and see how I like it.
I'm curious how it works for you because you're shorter and it's a higher chair. So like you really will have to like
get into
it. Yeah.
No, I'm aware.
So, because Rachel uses the shorter one, but that's more because she wants to be kind of like
hidden,
out of sight a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and I gotta make sure that, like, if I'm standing the whole time, I have to have a compression sock, or else I am in so much pain the next day.
Yeah.
And sitting for a little while would be nice. Like sitting assertively would be nice. But yeah, like,
I'm a little worried about stocking just a 6-foot table or 8-foot table. I feel like that's not going to be enough space, but I'll just have to consolidate and figure out what's most important to display. But I have a good idea what I'm going to put out, so I'm not going to have as much linear space as I did last time because we had this vertical shelving unit with a bunch of stuff on it.
So we don't have any shelves that are like tall.
Unless you bring another shelf that we could put behind us somewhere. Or like, can you bookend your table with a shelf, or we can?
Let me text Rebecca and see if I can borrow some of her shelves.
And I don't really want to put shelving on top of the table,
Right,
like
right,
a
right.
big shelving unit on top of the table.
No.
Like I know you've done that with your tabletops, but you're gonna focus on the fairly chest level kind of stuff, right? It's not gonna be a bunch of vertical space on top of the table.
Yeah. Yeah, because if we get, she has the 4-foot shelves. She has the 4-foot shelves. If we get 2 of those, what we could do is set it back a little bit in the booth. So if you have a 6-foot table and then I have a 6-foot space, and then we corner up, and then at the ends of those spaces have 2 shelves.
Yeah.
You know,
People probably aren't gonna be able to see them. Maybe.
we could angle them out, I think.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would probably be good, depending on the neighbor and how much space we have. If it's an 8-foot table, on my side, like, I feel like a 6-foot table is gonna fit the best because 8-foot's gonna be really pushing it.
Yeah.
Unless we could put that that standing shelving unit at the corner, like out a little bit.
I think we probably could.
Yeah.
And I think that, yeah, I if we set it back a little bit, so we're like, so you still have to like scoot into the space like a step, but not too much, and have those shelves on the ends that have a little bit more pots on it. You know, the 4-foot ones. It's freezing in here, and I don't know why.
What do you mean 4 foot tall?
They're four shelving shelves, 4 shelves. So I have 3-foot ones, and then she has 4-foot ones, and I'm asking her right now.
When you're saying 4-foot ones, you're saying 4 shelves that are a foot apart.
Yeah, basically.
Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yeah.
But how wide is the shelving?
3
unit?
feet.
3 feet wide. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be
Yeah, but there's
pretty
no
tight.
way.
I mean, we'll be able to put
people
the
aren't gonna be
tables
like,
and put the Otherwise, we could always put one shelving unit behind us that's like kind of backstock-ish. If like, hey, I'm looking for other, like, what other mugs do you have or something?
Yeah.
Like, I would put a set of maybe 15 other mugs on the shelf behind us if people like, oh, I like the look of that one or something.
Yeah. Damn it! I was just at their studio today. But yeah, I'll see if I can grab those from her. Cause that.
What are you gonna? What do you think you're gonna focus on putting out, like percentage wise? Are you gonna put like 70% earrings, 30% pots, or 50-50 or?
Like, did you see my booth this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
I think I could probably put about the same. I'll put less earrings out because the table will be shorter.
Yeah, because I mean, you could draw people in with just the pots, and then because people see a whole thing of earring, like they know they're earrings.
Yeah.
You could probably put a cross section of different types of earrings. You might not need.
I put the pots under the earrings too, so that it draws like the fancy ones, so that draws people in at least to.
Did you post a photo of that? No.
No, I'll send you a picture.
Okay. I was gonna say I saw that you posted in stories, but you didn't put it on your feed, so.
Yeah.
I feel like people like the show pictures with all the pots and the pieces because it kind of gives you a nice little look of what you have to offer.
Yeah, so that tabletop is 8 feet, but it can collapse down to 6 feet or 4 feet.
Okay. Oh, so you're gonna use that on your side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. And then is there space underneath those to put stuff on? Underneath?
Yeah.
Like storage? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shelving unit on the right-hand side, that's the one you're going to bring with you?
Yeah. Or we could even put pots on the bottom shelf of that, too, if we really needed to. It's just hiding some risers. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I can fold it over and just hide the risers, and use the bottom shelf. So.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm gonna use I'm gonna put all my shit underneath the table. I'm gonna have a regular table with, you know, 1.5 or 2 feet space underneath it.
Yeah.
With a tablecloth all the way down to the ground. So.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I think you'll
gosh.
I feel like you need more pots on the top of the tabletop, just so people don't turn a corner, they don't see it until, so they can see some stuff on top of the table.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's going to be blocked by my table.
Yeah.
Or what height is that table at? Is that at like 36 inches or is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same. It's like a 3-foot table on risers.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But we'll only need one paper roller.
One paper roller, yes. Okay. Do you want a? So I'm trying to figure out what to put on my table because I'm only gonna have a 6 foot or 8 foot ish of room, and normally I have 2 6 foot. So I'm pretty much gonna focus on the two-tiered shelving, wooden shelving that I put up. So it's like the stair step.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put 2 of those, and then normally I have space in the middle for the shot glasses, but I don't know. I don't think I want to just leave the shot glasses at home this time.
Yeah.
Because I think I got some sales of shot glasses last time. But I'm wondering about the spoon rest, if I should put, maybe those would be good. I see you've got some on the shelving unit.
Yeah, I just put mine on the shelves because I don't.
Do you want a wooden bin to put them in? Do you have enough to put them in a wooden bin?
Oh,
Do you want that with a flip through?
I have plenty. I don't have a wooden bin though.
Like instead of sitting them out flat like that?
Yeah.
Because people can flip through them. That's how
We should just put them together and see who likes them more.
I don't know how I feel about that. And then, yeah, so I'm probably going to focus on putting the mugs and then probably oil bottles.
Yeah.
And then probably some soup bowls on the table. I don't know that I'm going to bring out like mini cereal bowls.
No, I wouldn't do bowls at all, honestly.
Like no cereal bowls, no like bigger pieces. Maybe like a vase or something just to spice up the table a little bit. But maybe not even that. Probably not even that. I'm not going to bring any like, I probably don't want any like yarn bowls.
Mm-mm.
Maybe I'll like keep some under the table or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be weird because I'm not going to bring as much stuff at all that I normally do.
How much did you do in the last show that you did like half with, but you half with?
When I split it. You know what? That show was actually what we talked about on episode 8.
Oh my god.
It was that long ago. Shit. Well, if you burn a little time, I can actually find it, but how do you want to handle
no go on the shelves?
No go on the shelves. Okay, that's fine. 2020. Was it 2020? No, it must have been 2019.
You haven't done this show since then?
Yeah.
You didn't do it last year?
No, I didn't do it last year because it conflicted with another show I had.
Oh, okay.
Damn, it's been that long. Yeah, I mean, when did we start the podcast? Was it August of 2019?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
September, I think it was October. Nope, not that weekend. Shit. It was probably on my one thing. It might have been this weekend here.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I think it was about $1,500.
Okay. Cool.
I expect it'll be I hope that I can sell 2,000 here.
Okay.
Um,
I don't expect that for me, but that's fine. I've stopped expecting a lot for me.
I think you'll sell. I think you'll sell at least 900. Hopefully, 1,500.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be fucking nice.
I think a good goal would probably be 1,000. Since you've never done a show in the city.
Never in the
and
city.
Plus, you're not really sure with the pieces you're bringing how the market's going to be for those items. So.
Yeah, it's so up in the air, and the jewelry's so new. Like, I felt like I sold almost more pottery than jewelry at the last show, which made no sense. And but I mean, like, I had good people had good things to say about the jewelry, but yeah, they really like.
Do you feel like you have to display your work based on what you make the most of? Like, if you're making 70% of your work in jewelry versus 30% pottery, do you feel like you have to display 70% jewelry, 30% pottery, or
not necessarily? I like the jewelry, so I like to display it more. So, and I want to get to that, so I think that that's why too, because like I'd want to get to mostly jewelry eventually.
Yeah. What if you could sell more by displaying more pottery? Like, would you adjust it after the first day if you weren't selling as much jewelry? Would you adjust your table
Potentially
a little bit? Because I feel like with the number of jewelry vertical things you have, you could display half a table of jewelry, the tabletop.
Yeah.
And you still have a lot of jewelry on display.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And it's like all customary too. I like take it all off, so I'm gonna put it all on there when I get there. Yeah.
Plus, it's so nice that you can store them in the little contraptions you have now, the little plastic.
I know. It takes a little bit more time setting up, but honestly, so worth it. So worth it.
I mean, when you can get, you can fit all of your jewelry within the size of like one of those Rubbermaid bins, probably, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like the little. I can put those little bins sideways too. You know, you can like set them.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna like fall out or anything.
I bought like extras, so I could like put stuff from here in them too, because they're gonna be great for van life.
Yeah.
I also want to put my own jewelry in them when I get into van. I was like, oh, that's so smart.
Oh yeah, that'll be great.
Put my own jewelry in it, like that's so smart. Yeah. Oh.
Are we? The only thing I'm wondering is I feel like we're going to get in those situations where it's like, who do I check out with? I want this and that, and then you're like, oh well, you go to her, and then bring these to me, and we'll wrap them up. We'll put them all together and figure that out. Did you get some new bags? Yeah, jewelry bags. What'd you end up going with?
Paper.
Yeah,
fancy paper, and then I have enough.
Did you do that based on people's feedback?
Yeah, because people are total bitches about using canvas. Even though old ladies love canvas, by the way.
Are old ladies your demographic?
No. But I will say this. Out of everything that I've sold in my entire life, the cutest thing that I've ever given to people is my card.
Your sticker thing?
Yeah.
Your holographic sticker?
Like, I'll sell a pair of earrings. They're like, oh, this is so cute. And then I'll give them my card. And they'll be like, oh my God, this is adorable. That's literally the reaction I get. It's like...
I've literally never got that reaction before.
Well, you're about to see it this weekend.
Alrighty.
So, yeah. Should be fun.
I got a feeling you're going to be really good friends with some of the baristas that are coming around.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of youngin' baristas coming around.
Yeah.
And they're going to love you.
Oh, yeah. I make friends with a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I know at least 3 of the different coffee shops that'll be there. So I sell wholesale mugs to one of them. I've sold other mugs to another one. And then the other one, the owners just bought a bunch of mugs from me. The last one we did.
Nice.
I'll be able to find some good tea as well. Queen City Clay's going to be there. They'll have a selection of mugs as well. They were asking different artists that do gallery sales with them. They were like, hey, we got this coffee sale event coming up. We're a little low on mugs. Do you all have any mugs you can, spare and just price them and put your name on it and stuff?
Yeah.
I was like, sorry, I'm going to be at the show. I don't have any to spare.
None to spare.
Not a square to spare.
Not a... Yes. Yeah. Okay. I have an early morning tomorrow because I gotta get...
Yeah. We gave them more than 20... I think we gave them a little more than 25 minutes there.
Yeah, but
was that right?
It was
or
kind of
right?
boring, let's be honest.
That was not boring.
It was kind of boring.
Whatever. Let the people decide. Most people didn't even make it this far, Becca.
That's just so true. And some of you poor people have your hands in clay and you can't even turn it off, so I'm sorry. They wanted to. They just couldn't.
They're like, can I just hear the outro already?
Do you know what happened today at the grocery store? P.S. I got nerd rope bites that I'm bringing.
Oh my gosh. When you said nerd rope, I was immediately thinking the bites.
Yeah. I found them at Target.
What do they call them, like nerd clusters?
I think so.
What do they call them?
Yeah. I should have gotten 2 packs. Also, I'm bringing hot Cheetos, Mountain Dew, and peach.
I want some
preserves.
Flamin' hot Funyuns. Peach what?
Peach preserves for you. I have it on my notes to remember.
Nice. Did you make them?
Yeah, I made the peach preserves for you like a while ago. I put it in my freezer.
Is that because didn't you get a whole bunch of peaches from somebody?
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, I was at Target and I was getting my stuff, and Deanna was saying something about the podcast, and then this lady, mid-50s, like looks over and she goes, "What's your podcast name?" And I was like, "Fucking Deanna." I was like, "Why did you have to say that?" And I was like, "Well, it's about pottery, so you probably wouldn't be interested." And she's like, "Oh, actually, my best friend is a ceramics teacher." And I was like, "It's called Wheel Talk."
Why do you feel that way? You don't want to, because you don't want to be the person that's like, I have a podcast, you should listen to me talk.
Yeah, basically.
But they were like basically pulling teeth from you to get it.
No, she was pretty good about it. It was fine. She was such a sweet lady. But I was like, it's like real talk, but with a wheel. And she's like, oh, clever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clever.
Clever. Look at us. Yep.
I need to get some Flamin' Hot Funyuns. For some reason, I was like, yeah, I'm getting ready for this weekend. I feel like I'm going to get a bunch of junk food to snack on at the show. And then I'll never eat. I almost never eat at the show anyway, so I'm like, why do I even care?
Yeah. I eat lunch. Or this last show, because I was bored as shit, I eat so much food. But lots of pickles.
Lots of pickles.
But yeah. I don't know. I have so much extra money in my bank account right now. It's crazy because I was at my parents' house for the first half of the month.
Oh, right. You didn't have to buy any groceries?
Oh, I did. I bought them groceries, but like,
oh.
I didn't buy a ton. Like, when I filled up my dad's car with gas, but like, still, I spent less than I normally spend, and so I have like $600 left for the month, I think. Let's look.
Okay. Are the consultations still going strong?
Medium. I had 4 this week. 2 of them. One of them I had to reschedule, and then I have $700 still for the rest of the month.
It seems good. I mean, you still got 10 days left. 11 days left.
No, it's great. But to put in perspective, my monthly budget is $1,000.
Wow. But are you like saying to yourself, I need to spend some more? Or are you like,
I'm just saying,
hey, we got a little bit of a head start for next month because I did well this month?
I'm just saying, hey, I can afford lunch out.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Not blowing money, but hey, treat yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Not blowing money, but like, hey, we're not on a tight moment. It's not tight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to use $500 of that, if I can, to buy the kiln. To help buy the kiln, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how the sales shake out this weekend.
Yeah, if it's a $2,000 weekend, buying it immediately.
You're buying it immediately. You're like, on the way home.
Yes. It's gonna happen.
And you got a consult this weekend with Erica.
Mm-hmm. And she's making us mashed potatoes and fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yummy.
That'll be good. I told her we should... it would be funny if we made a reel where it was her throwing and we were on each side of her and just, like, shouting at her. Like, fake shouting at her. And she's just, like, freaking out as she's throwing, like...
Yeah. We'll see how it
most
goes.
Intense throwing session.
You're going to have to either get out or shut... You can't talk.
No, I'm not going to be in there.
Okay, good.
You can do what you need to do. I'm not even going to be in there.
Sweet.
I think we're going to have to lower the wheel, though, because she probably wants to sit and throw.
Yeah.
So. All right.
Yep.
Anything else, Becca?
Nope.
I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
It's been a bit.
It has been a bit. I'm definitely excited to see you guys, so.
Alrighty. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you at 3.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Thanks.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone loves a slinky. You gotta have a slinky. Slinky, slinky, go, slinky, go. Yo, yiggity, yo. It's Becca here. Hey, just so you know, thank you for listening. And also, we have... What do we have again? A Patreon. We have a Patreon that you should go, and if you want to donate to, you could donate to it. If you don't, that's cool too. But just Google Wheel Talk Podcast Patreon. Don't do the other one, because there is a Wheel Talk on Patreon, but it's not us. So make sure you get the right one. It's in the show notes. And also, leave us a review, because they're fun to read. Okay, bye!